Good morning guys, it's Craig here from Gifters Electrical. I hope you are all well. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please remember to like and subscribe. You can do that using the big red button, and if you change the bell symbol to all, you'll get a notification every time I post a new video. So today we are at a job. We conducted an EICR earlier in the week. Not massive unsatisfactory issues on there, but we're going to address some of them, and we're also going to upgrade the board. So let me flip you around. Well, I'll move out of shot and I'll show you what we've got working with. So we've got these old Mamera 2000 boards. This one's the off-peak, which is no longer in use, so that's going to get ripped out entirely. We then have this one, which we're on a 100 milliamp time delayed RCD. We've got 32 amp MCB / RCD combo. So it's one obviously early type of RCBO. So that's the sockets only. And then we've got the old cooker supply, which they've derated down to 20 amp. And they're using it to supply the shed. Now that at the end of the basically inside the house goes onto a 45 amp double pole switch, which also has a socket outlet, and the cooker, which is just for the igniter, is connected into that. So I'll show you that in a minute. Downstairs lights, upstairs lights, and shower, which is no longer in use. So we'll label the shower up, but we're not going to connect it into the board. We've got Hager 8-way going in with SPD. We're upgrading the tails because obviously these have been done to 25mm, so we're going to upgrade these to 25mm. We've got 100 amp fuse in there, so yeah, we're going to upgrade that now. Gas is bonded, so the gas actually comes straight to here, and there does appear to be a water bond which goes up into this woodwork here and then travels along and then disappears. It does not connect to anything inside the property whatsoever. So we're going to run a new bond. So to follow the same line as gas, client's already lifted up the boxing for us. So we're going to come under the stairs. When we're in the stairs, obviously we've got to correct this as well. So they've just run a spur off this. So we're just going to make that all tidy, sort that out. We're going to follow the gas pipe run, which then goes up here, into this boxing. And then obviously this is where our water pipe is actually down here. You're probably not going to be able to see much of this, to be fair. So let me just shine some light on that. So there we go. So you can see what stopcock is there. So we just need to apply a bond to that because there isn't one. And then as we go into the kitchen, we've got these 4 downlights to replace. Now, they didn't have an issue on the EICR because they're actually fire rated units, but they're MR16s. This one's completely failed, so the client just said replace them all. So that's what we're going to do. That is just being used as it's a plug-in accessory, so they're going to get rid of that. And there's our shed supply, which is actually part of the oven. So on the EICR, basically disconnected at every point. So disconnected there, because obviously we've got the neon, did my IR, bang, perfect, up to that point. IR to the shed, absolutely perfect. But this is really funny. That's the old cooker outlet. And what they've done is they've just wired the SWA straight into there. So we're going to put a click box on it, which has conduit entry. We're going to make off with an SWA gland, and then that will allow us to obviously make good that connection. It then runs outside. So we've got this shed, and then there is a shed behind, and again, it all functions correctly. We then have inside here, if I put the light on, so we have again another mem board. But this has got a Wilex RCD in it. Nothing. There's no signs of thermal damage or anything, so we see through that. You know, it's not the right part for the job, but it does function as it should. Tests on it are good. I think we had 30 milliamp RCD, and we had a ramp test of 22. And then we also had a disconnection time of 38 milliseconds, so absolutely perfect. We then got plug, which is that one there, and then obviously for the rest of the sockets which go into that other shed. Now what they've done here with this armoured, obviously there's no, they've literally just fed it into the entry point, and then they've taped up the armour and connected the armour into there. Yeah, so we're going to put another gland on there. We'll just reorganise the wiring a little bit so that it actually is, will probably come out the back of the board, because there is obviously space behind here. We'll probably come out the back and then just run that for our sockets, etc. So yeah, it's a little bit overgrown, but it does function correctly. There's no signs of any kind of corrosion or thermal damage or anything like that, so it's just not very pretty, that's all. And I think, what was the other thing on this place? I think that was really it. Somebody at some point, when they did the extension, which was upstairs extension, they wired the upstairs lights. So I'll take you up there now and just show you. So, very nice old cottage. So we're in the main part of the house. So this is the main part. This all functions as it should. We've got our boiler in here, and again that's our old shower isolator, so again we're just gonna, that'll stay in place, but we're just gonna disconnect it. But this part is the new extension, and what they've done is they've wired the lighting off the downstairs lighting circuit. So again, it's not a huge issue. We put it on the report just as an observation that, you know, the extension upstairs lights are wired off the downstairs circuit. So the new owners, whoever they may be, will obviously you know, be aware. But everything else, like I said, no real issues on the property whatsoever, which is surprising. I think when we did the EICR, we did have, of course, in these bolt lamps in here, we did have some issues off some of the sockets. So we had a loss of line and a loss of no, we didn't. What do we have? Loss of neutral and a loss of CPC. And that was basically, we had one socket, which was that one in that bottom corner there. That had a loss of a neutral and a CPC. And then, not that one. That one had the same, well, loss of neutral. We only had one CPC disconnected. Everything else was fine. So yeah, that's what we found. So we rectified that at the point. So nothing else to do. I've just spotted some lamps. So yeah, we've got some G9 lamps, so we can replace the lamps in these wall lights. But yeah, it should be a relatively straightforward job today. So what I'll do, I'm going to get set up. I've brought everything in. We're going to get set up. We'll start doing the, earth rod. We've got one of those to fit today, because the other one is corroded and nasty, and we're also going to upgrade the cable, the main protective bonding, not main protective bonding, main protective earth, to the rod. We're going to upgrade that from I think it's a 6mm up to 16mm, as well as put in a double length 5/8 inch rod. And we've got Linian Earth Pro bit to use, so we'll see how that one goes. We've used them before and not had much success, but we might have better success today. So guys, I will get finished setting up and then we'll see you soon. Okay guys, so you're probably looking at this and thinking you haven't done much. We've done quite a bit. So far we've managed to resolve all the remedial issues. So we have our bond to our water here. I'll attach the photo of the actual inside there because you can't really see it. We've sorted out all the cabling in here, because what they had 2 junction boxes, and to link the 2 junction boxes they had used 1mm twin and earth, or twin and CPC, sorry. So we've literally just taken it up, tacked it in place, and then obviously brought the cable so that now we don't need that additional junction box. So that can go off. The lights in the kitchen all replaced with Collingwood H2s in warm white with white bezels. Normally in the kitchens I do cool white, but the preference was to keep it with warm white, so that's what we've gone with. Our SWA is now made off correctly, so we've basically put in some 75mm long screws and just screwed it straight through to the back plate. So yeah, they're made off, so that's now appropriately secured. And then if we go into the shed is all done as well. And we've been busy this morning. Let me turn you around. So a lot tidier. Okay, we've now taken, so what they had done is they'd wired it old school way. So light switch, line and switch line were in there, into the fuse board, line into line into the, I can't get this off now, there we go, line into the not RCD, obviously the MCB, and then they had the switch line made off into just a chock block connector basically. That then came out and went up there. So we've basically done line and neutral into the switch, and then obviously that comes out, because that feed only does this one light. So power wise, we've come out the board, it comes out the board same place, so we've moved our armour over a little bit, so that's all made off again. As you know from previous videos, I only use the SWA storm glands. They don't pay me to say this. Genuinely, people, I will only recommend to you what I actually use myself, all right? They don't pay me at all. They don't give me free gifts at all. It is all my own recommendation. So I love these glands, absolutely fantastic. If you hit them up, they've got limited stock, but they will send you out some glands if they've got some. So yeah, we've used the storm gland. Feed comes out into this socket, then back out, and then continues with the radial into the next shed. Typically, in good fashion, when you go to do something and you try and make it better, sometimes things go wrong. And this was no different. We put our armoured in, and basically the plastic, the original plastic hole just kind of was a little bit soft and brittle, and it just snapped. So obviously we're not replacing this consumer unit. The feed from here to everywhere else is fine. So yes, it is plastic, but it's obviously not in a dwelling situation. It's outside in a outhouse. But what we have done is obviously to maintain IP rating, we've basically used some Mitamate or Mitabond. You can get it from Screwfix or Howdens, and basically just a bit of conduit lid across the front, and then that keeps our IP rating so that we can't stick a finger in there. Obviously, it's less than ideal. I wish it wouldn't have happened, but we adapt and overcome, and it is safe. That's not coming off. You'd break the rest of the consumer unit if you were to try and take that off. I don't know if anybody's ever used Mitabond. It comes in two parts. You have the super glue side and the activator side. Obviously, once that's sprayed, nothing comes off. You literally, it will tear down whatever you pull across. So, yeah. So, the next thing, I'm just going to put this cover back on. Right, turn that off. So, before we tackle the board, we've got two more remedial issues to resolve. One is a relatively straightforward issue, but they're both outside. So, right. So, we're going to replace this light fitting here. We've got something similar, but it's obviously old and rusty, and I said to the client, do you want me to disconnect it or leave it? Obviously we've got twin and earth out here. There's no signs of thermal, so it did come up as a C3. Not thermal, but there's no signs of deterioration on there. It's still quite good. So we're going to take this off. Going to put a new light fitting on. Something similar, like I said, and then we've got to do our earth rod. So we've exposed it. We're going to go next to the old earth rod. We'll try and pull that out as well, because it just wobbles. I don't know if I can. So that's actually the earth rod that's wobbling. So yeah, we'll try and get that up. But we're going to go next there. We've got a obviously box for it and everything. So yeah, I'm going to go grab the light fin. We're going to get that changed over. and then we're going to start stripping down and taking the board off. Okay guys, so you've seen me use these linen bits before. They've not worked out well for me in the past, but let me talk you through them. So what you have two parts, okay? You have the SDS plus part, which screws onto the top, and then you have the sacrificial bit. Now, these aren't cheap, at about 18 quid plus the VAT each. So yeah, they're not cheap for what they are. But I thought I'd give them another go because, you know, I love linen, I love the clips, so we'll give it another go. Third time's the charm, so hopefully this will go through. So this is where we're going. We've got our box is going to go in situ, and then we're going to literally try and remove that rod first, and then I'll get you set up and we'll go through the other rod. Right guys, so we have started. It's actually this ground's quite soft underneath this, so I'm not sure how far we're going to get with that because the existing rod wouldn't pull out. So literally was just able to smash it in, but it was so loose. So we're going to drive this down. We'll then put our coupler on, and we'll do another rod. So I'll get you set up on the tripod. Okay, first rod is in. It mushrooms the top even with the unit on. I think I've said that before. Even with that on, it mushrooms it. So I'm going to have to cut the top off just so I can get our coupler on, because obviously it won't screw on, but that's fine. So I'm going to grab the hacksaw. I won't do any more time lapse. I'm just going to literally crack on with it, and then once that's in and I've put a new feed through, that is our that's our kind of work done for the remedial side of things. So we can then crack on and start replacing the board. So I'm gonna, like I said, cut the top off, put the new coupler on, and put this second rod in. See you soon. Okay guys, we've got a 2.4 meter rod in, 16mm earth cable, which is clipped in with linen clips. You'll notice there isn't a box on there. That's because I smashed it when I smashed my hand, so it's a bit sore, it's a bit throbbing, so I'm going to probably go get it looked at because I'm in agony with it. So we've done an earth fault loop impedance test, and basically we have got 52.4, I think it was. So our ZE was 52.4, so really happy with that. Just done a ZS at the board, and we have got 29.3. So overall, very, very happy with that. We're not going to do the board change today. We're actually going to split this into two videos because I haven't had time today. Obviously, with everything we've done, it's eaten up all the time. The obviously longest part really was getting that earth rod in. The linen earth rod bit was fantastic. In this environment, we managed to get down the full 1.1 meters, 1100 mil down before the batteries died out, and 354 volt batteries are just gone. They don't last very long when you're just doing constant drilling. So yeah. So guys, thank you for joining me on this video. I hope you've enjoyed it so far, and I look forward to seeing you on part 2. Bye for now.